Hello everyone, Dovalt here, back with another episode and another review with part 2 of my review of Metal Cardbot W Tyrant Zero. The first episode ended up taking longer than planned just to get through the core robot and its vehicle mode with all the various size comparisons, so today we are focusing on his various combined modes, which he has a lot. I think if you include his big ultimate combination, he has, let me think, 5 alternate forms he can go through besides just his robot and vehicle mode. So without further ado, let's get right into it. But before we do that, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification down below to know when I upload new stuff, and check out my other content here on the channel, as well as my second channel, Dovalt Gaming, which really needs the love. It would mean a lot if you check that out. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, our buddy here has various different forms he can combine with each of his various train carts and his dragon companion. So I think we should start with him. So let's bring in Devi Dragon here. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna bring in his friend here, and you're just gonna rip off his head. Like so. Oh, just bumped my light. Whoops. You're gonna fold up his legs as if you were going back to his card mode. Fold them up completely. Like so. You're gonna take this back section here and you're going to double hinge it back like that. Hopefully the lighting's good. It looks a little darker than usual, but that's okay. Same thing on the back legs. Fold them up. Just kind of get them out of the way. And position this kind of like so. Then you're going to take our boy here. You're going to open up his chest. Like so. And you can pop the dragon head right on there just like that. You can open the jaw if you want. Then you're going to come to the figure back here, pop off the wings. And you can have him hold that weapon in this form if you want, but we're just going to set it aside for now. And then you're going to bring in the dragon here. And these 4 C-clips right here are going to go into these 4 tabs on the back here. Like so. And there is his first combined form. A little bit goofy, but he combines with his dragon in the show to do various like fire-based attacks and gain dragon-like abilities. Super cool. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could hide his head and make him more like a beast former if you want. But he retains the tail articulation back here. And you can kind of give him a nice little Godzilla look, especially if you flare up these kind of like back fins. But yeah, not my favorite of his modes, but super simple to do, really cool combination. It's just cool that all of his different things can incorporate with him. So this one doesn't change his size, so no need to do any size comparisons, and no change to his articulation. But let's move on to the next one. So, the next cart you can bring in here. Hold on, guys. I gotta fix my lighting real quick. Screw it. We'll fix it in post. So, in this next one, we will bring in his caboose here. The one with the mask on it. And you're going to leave the mask where it is, but you're going to bring these down, rotate these around on either end, and that's going to let you take this entire train cart and split it right down the middle like so. You can then fold out these wings here, and that will then allow you to fold it the other way, like so. Fold these down to lock everything in place. Like so, and then this, as you can see, is just going to clip right back onto his back in those same 4 ports back here. I don't know why my camera is suddenly super dark, but we're rolling with it. There we go. And now he has a wingsuit. Super cool. He's got these nice black and crimson wings he can splay out. And it keeps his back nice and clean back here. Just this big shield back here. I feel like my camera keeps getting darker and darker. What is going on here? Anyway, and if you wanted to, you could go ahead and splay these wings out if you wanted to. You would just take them from the end here and lift them up like so. And he has quite the wingspan when you have it like this. Let me see if I have something to compare him with. Here he is with his wingsuit next to Grand Blue Leon. And, let's see. His wingspan actually is... Stand up, Leon. His wingspan is actually wider, if you can believe it. So yeah, that is his second form with his awesome wingsuit. I need a bigger review station for figures like this. Alright. So that is what he looks like in this form all put together. Honestly, out of the individual combinations, this is by far my favorite. Now for his next one. We're going to bring in his middle cart, the one with the obvious feet on them. And what you're going to do is you're going to split this cart in half like you do with Blast Train's carts. You are going to undo this piece right here. You're going to flip it up. Then you're going to flip this part down for now. Then you're going to split this here like so. Flip this down by pressing these two things right here to flip that out. Flip this down and straighten it out like so. Then you can flip this back down and that's going to lock these into place. Flip this down. Bring this side here, flip it up, and that's going to reveal some wheels on the underside here. Now do the same thing on the other side. Alright, and once you got the other side, what you're going to do is on this one here, you see how it has those two C-clamps? On this one, you're going to flip out these two little tabs here on either side. And that's going to allow you to take these two halves and combine them together down the middle like so. And hold on. This thing's kind of big, hard to do on camera. There we go. Straighten everything out, and boom, you have his surfboard. And yes, he has a surfboard. Now, he does have on his feet some 5mm ports on the bottom, as well as these two square ports here. And these will allow you to place his feet on any of the square or 5mm ports on this, so you can get him in some cool hoverboard stances. But it's kind of hard for me to pose him like that on camera, but you can put him on his surfboard. He can also do the crisscross applesauce and meditate on it like he does in the show. I need to tighten my tripod. There we go. Now, for the final of his individual cart transformations, we bring in his front cart, and this one is going to function very similar to his final combination. You're going to split it in half, just like the other one. Then you are going to take this, flip it up, and that's going to form this part of his shoulder. Then you're going to bring this down like so. Going to pull that up and turn it forward. You got this nice big old pair of cannons. Bring this down. You can tilt the shoulder up if you want. Slide this cannon forward to reveal the hand, which is fully articulated, by the way. Straighten this out, flip the gun around, and do the same thing on the other side. All right. Now that we have both of them, this is the only one that requires some actual prep on the figure's behalf. So what you're going to do is you are going to untab the chest for just a moment. Bring it up a little bit so you can rotate these back around and recombine them in the front. To form the front of the train again. And then you could just put that back exactly where it was. Then... Sorry, I think my cat found a bug. Anyway, then you're going to bring his arms back like so. I feel like this keeps getting darker. Oh well. Then what you're going to do is bring the arms back, and you're going to angle them like so, so that these tabs meet in the middle on either arm. Just bring those back, tab it into his back, tab the arms together. And there you have that said and done. Then you're just going to bring these in, and you have a total of 5 clips. They're going to go into here, 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 and here. And it can be a little fiddly to do the first time, especially if you're trying to do this in front of a camera. But... And boom! Here we have him in his Leviathan, sorry, Behemoth form. By the way, if I forgot to mention, his previous form with the surfboard is called Leviathan. This one is Behemoth, and the one with the wings is called Wyvern, and of course the one with the dragon is called Dragon. So those are the names of all his different forms. Now this one here I think is kind of ridiculous, but not as ridiculous as the surfboard, to be honest. But it just gives him these massive arm-mounted cannons and shoulder cannons and this big intimidating look. And of course you can open the chest to reveal his chest beam / Eye of Sauron. I forget what they call this, but it allows him to see into the hearts and minds of his victims. It's a children's show, by the way. Anyway. And yeah, not too much has changed here. Let me bring him in next to Taki once again, just to see how this scales with a standard size figure. Well, I say standard, but in Transformers terms, she would still be a leader class. So compared to a leader class, that is how big he is with his shoulder cannons put on. And we'll take a better look at those when we get to the final combine mode next, because it's basically exactly the same. So, without further ado, let's get him in to his awesome fully combined mode. Alright, now to prep this figure for his fully combined mode, you're gonna leave this just like it was when you had his Behemoth form, but you're gonna do some changes to the lower body. So first, we're gonna need to undo these arms for now, so you can get them up and out of the way. Then you're going to lift up his chest so that you can rotate his waist. You're gonna do a full 360 so that this skirt is now facing the front. Bring the chest back down, tab everything back in like before, but now you're going to hinge this 90 degrees and bring it down over this one. Then you can go ahead and put the arms back as they were before in Behemoth mode. Straighten everything out, bring everything back down, tab it back in like so. And I cannot wait to show you this main event here, guys. And then what you're going to do with the legs is you're going to flip these knee pads around like so. That is exclusive to this part of the transformation. Go ahead, if you haven't already, straighten out his legs just to make things easier on yourself. And then what you're going to do is you're going to bring his leg all the way forward on this joint like so, and then straighten it back out like so. Same thing on this side, bring it all the way back, then straight down like so. And there you have the figure completely prepped for his combine mode. So let's bring in all the parts. Oh yeah, and you bring this chest down. There you go. So, The way the instructions want you to do it, I would actually say it makes things a lot harder on yourself, because what it wants you to do is bring in his... Oh, punched my light. It wants you to do is bring in his backpack here. It wants you to go ahead and... let me first remove the mask. Do you need to take this off? It wants you to go ahead and slide these into these sliding joints right here on both sides. Then, if you lift up this part, it allows his back to flex enough for you to get it around and then tab it into either side. Now, that is actually really hard to do, especially with a figure this large, and especially if you're trying to do it on camera. So what I've actually found is better to do is to go ahead and attach one of his arms. Go ahead and attach one of them, as if you were going back into that Behemoth mode. There we go. Then what you're going to do is you're going to bring in this backpack. And the only part of this backpack that actually tabs in on the figure itself are these two little holes that were holding the mask in before. They're going to go into these two little slots here. So all you have to do is get this pulled up so it can get that little bit of flex. You're going to bring this in like so, tab it in, bring that back down to lock it back in place. Now come over to the other side, bring in the other arm, and now that you have that already attached, you can kind of slide this on if the figure doesn't do the squats on you. Pull all this forward and push it all into place. And there you have his shoulders ready to go. Now for the legs, you're gonna bring in Mr. Giant Surfboard here, and you can already see what's kind of gonna happen here. You're gonna split it in half. You're gonna fold down those tabs on the bottom of what will obviously be the foot. You're going to flip this back down and this back up, so flip this up, flip this back down. Rotate the foot around so that this side is facing the gray piece here. Now, something I want to point out that I think is really cool is that these heels, these will be his heels, actually lock into place. These do not move unless you want them to. So they lock into place. So he is going to stand up just fine. Fold up the wheel you have here. Make sure this is fully straightened out. Do the same thing on the other side so it looks like that. There you go. Now we got both legs, and all you're gonna do to get these on is you are going to put the heel of his foot into that notch right in the middle, and then you have a black C-clamp, if you can see it, right there in the middle, and one up here that are gonna go into the C-clamp receivers here on his leg. I'm gonna just push that in, and it's going to firmly clamp into place. Then you close the leg around, and the last step for said leg is to then take his toe here, and there's this little hole right here that's going to go into that little notch right there. And boom, that is one leg done. Now do the same thing on the other side. Alright, and here he is in his combined mode, but I would like to note that I did have his knees backwards. You need them bent this way, not that way. But here he is in his glorious, beautiful, amazing combined mode. Let me get him in a satisfactory pose real quick before I pull out the camera. Alright, sorry guys, my camera overheated, but we're back. And here we have him in his glorious, fully combined mode. But we have one final little touch here. Remember that mask from earlier? We're just going to attach this right here onto his face. These two holes here, if it'll focus. Focus for me, camera. Those two holes there are going to go into the two little pegs on either side of his face on the front of the horns there. And boom. There we have his glorious mask equipped, and here is what he looks like in all of his combined glory with all of his train carts hooked up. And He is awesome. Now, I should probably go into articulation before we do the final step, because there is actually even more combination to be had here. But let's bring him in and first talk about some weapon storage. So on the back here, you can actually bring in his blades, because in this form in the show, he just aura farms. So we're going to take his weapons here. You're going to have them all folded up and combined down the middle like so. And this is just going to peg into his back like so and store just like that. So he does have integrated weapon storage even in combined mode. So let's get into articulation and look at the details real quick. So you have this amazingly awesome head sculpt. If my camera will focus on that, there we go. Beautiful metallic black with these 6 red glowing eyes, little green gem in the middle with another one of those red crystals on his forehead. And just like his regular mode, his head is on a ball joint with a full 360 swivel. Now, we have these amazing details on his shoulder with more of that metallic gunmetal with the red gems forming lights here. I believe these shoot lasers in the show. His shoulders can move up that far on the shoulder pads. His arms can go out to just under 90 straight out. They can rotate probably a full 360 if you move the wings out of the way on a nice ratchet. He does have a bicep swivel. He has a wrist rotation with each finger being articulated, including the thumb at the base. The thumb is on a ball joint, so it can move around however you wish. Oh, did not mean to fold the hand up. And on his arm, you have this nice metallic red and silver there. More of that gem detail. I really like the way that the train mode really just kind of blends into this combined mode. It is awesome. The detailing on the chest stays pretty much the same as you've seen on both the train and the vehicle mode, but now you have these nice metallic shin guards with another one of those red gems there. Nice lights and stuff on the side of the legs here. Super awesome. You got that prominent gem right in the center of the chest. Now, as for additional articulation, just like with the regular robot mode, he does have a thigh swivel, which I'm not sure if I mentioned in the main part of the view. Also, I need to remember he is very heavy, so I should not hold him by his legs. The back skirt has now moved to the front with the cow catcher there. Super nicely done as well. I just love the amount of metallic black you got all over this guy. But his articulation stays basically exactly the same in his fully combined mode as it does in his regular robot mode. Just, of course, heavier and a little more unwieldy. But he does get a slightly beyond 90-degree bend at the knee. He still has a slightly ratcheted rotation here on the... I can speak words. So in addition to the thigh swivel and a slightly above 90-degree knee bend, he also does have a ratcheted ankle tilt, as well as ankle rotation, and the toe can move up and down, and the back one can also move up and down if you press those buttons to release it. I'm not doing all the articulation on camera because with the way I'm reaching in front of the camera, I will drop this guy. And I don't want to have you guys see me break something on camera. It's because this guy's expensive. I do not want to buy another one. But yeah, so his articulation is great, exactly the same as it is in his regular combined mode. I mean, his regular robot mode. Now, what if I told you we're not done combining this guy yet? He has one more step to get the full combination, and it involves his lovely dragon companion. So, first, we're going to bring in the head, just like we did in his dragon mode, and you are going to flip down the eye here at the middle, bring him in here, And just like in that other mode, you're just going to press this straight in, attach it like so, open the jaw all the way, and there you have his new upgraded chest. And then lastly, for the back, we're going to bring in the dragon's body. And you're going to take it right here. Actually, it's probably better to start at the tail, to be honest. And you are going to split the body straight down the middle. It is on these nice but soft C-clamp joints here. If the camera will focus, there we go. And what you're going to do is you're going to straighten these out so that it is straight like this. So you have these two perfectly straight. You're going to angle these legs here down. You can kind of angle these ones however you want up here, but you're going, sorry, hiccup. You're going to bend it like this, then like this, then like this, then like this, and then like this. So it get this nice like half onk here. Do the same thing on the other side, but of course the opposite. So you're going to straighten this out like so. Going to bend, 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 like so, till you have that nice half onk look again. Angle the leg however it is you wish. And now, what you're going to do is you're going to take they only go on one side each because of the opposite holes here. Focus, camera. Focus, focus, there we go. And you're going to attach them to either side of his back on this clamp and this one here. So, let's do that now. Bring him in, get these tabs all lined up like so. Really hard to do on camera because I gotta get my arms in super freaky positions here. And boom, there we have it all together. And here we have his full Tyrant Zero Metal Cardbot W God of Destruction mode. With this really cool, like, Asian dragon motif going on. I can't even fit this guy in frame because he is taller than his box in this mode. He wouldn't even fit in his box in this mode. But it is awesome. And if you take a close look at those rings there, it's got actual metal cards on his wings. And in the show, each of those little circles there is a laser, and he can basically spawn the sun in the middle and shoot it at you. So that is his whole thing in this mode. And in this mode, he can wield his sword. It still does fit in his hand. You would just weave his fingers between the two handles, but that is not official. He actually does not do that in the show, but they did make it possible. They didn't have to do that, but they did. But in the show, he prefers to just aura farm, and they can only beat him with the power of friendship. But this is his full combined mode in all of its glory. It is amazing. This guy is worth every penny, but he is super expensive, so definitely not for the lighthearted, and honestly, definitely not for kids, because if your parents are buying things like this for you, they're irresponsible. This thing is expensive, especially with all the import fees and all that kind of stuff, but this guy is awesome. Now, sorry I didn't go through full articulation on this video. It's just he's so big and unwieldy that doing it in front of a camera would be ridiculously difficult, but it is the same as his regular robot mode, just bigger. But he basically has the exact same articulation. Now, of course, you can fold his wings down if you want. You could fold that archway down as well. You could actually flip them, switch their sides, flip them down, and give him a pair of twin tails if you wanted to as well. And of course, you can fold away his arm cannons and all that. But this, I don't know, I cannot get over how cool this guy looks. Probably one of the coolest looking transforming figures I have ever owned. So before we end this review, let's take some closer look at more of those details. Let's just do some little panning shots here and look at that awesome, amazing head sculpt. This awesome dragon chest with the red cannon accent there in the middle. These awesome shoulder details. I like how he's got the little train wings that even Blast Train has, so I still wonder if they're related in some way. I believe in the show he has some sort of extreme reaction when he sees him, but I don't know what the lore is for that. I have not seen the US release of the series yet. But yeah, just super awesome figure in almost every way imaginable. And despite him being a super thick boy, he's actually relatively proportionate. He is a little back heavy, but because of those amazing heels down there, he's not going anywhere unless you pose him really poorly. Now, my only complaint about this fully combined mode is that on the official box art, which you saw in the previous half of this review, he actually has some black fillers that go under his shoulders that did not come with the figure. So I wonder if that was purely for product shots or what, but yeah. But yeah, he is super freaking cool, and he even looks awesome from the back. Not very many figures look this cool from the back. All that dragon detail carries over nicely. That red is really popping. And just overall, amazing figure. Now, all I can do now is gush about this guy, but there's not much else to say. Now, things I would like to see is if like someone third party comes up with an upgrade kit that allows the dragon to form a extra train cart. Because one of my only major complaints about this entire toy line is that there's nowhere to store the metal cards on the figures in any way whenever they're in their vehicle modes. And I think it would be awesome if his dragon could become an extra train cart. Or if, for example, Blue Leon's stuff could also attach to them in some way. Now, at least in his case, it actually doesn't take away from the figure because his metal card is its own character, which is something unique to him. But yeah, I can't say much else about this figure other than just sitting here gushing about him. But yeah, I got my guy over at Korea Hub US. But currently, I will say that due to current import fees and new customs regulations, getting this guy, unless you ship him directly from Korea, is very difficult. So getting from a US seller might be very difficult if you're here in the States. So I would recommend maybe finding someone you trust from a Korean seller to get a hold of it. Now, I do recommend, if you love Metal Cardbot, though, to go check out Korea Hub US's existing stock of Metal Cardbot figures. They are all great. I have had a blast with this toy line so far, and I'm not done with it. In the future, we will be reviewing more Macross figures from my existing collection and Diaclone as well, but I will continue dipping into these figures as soon as I have the funds to do it again. These recent reviews have really eaten at whatever little funds I had, so I currently cannot afford any more new figures to review, so it's time for me to start going through my backlog of figures. But yeah, that has been my review of Tyrant Zero, God of Destruction, or K-Hockey, I believe in the Japanese translation, from Metal Cardbot W Season 3. And he's amazing, and I hope you guys who are looking for this guy are able to get a hold of him, because I have had a blast with him, and he is now my favorite aesthetic figure in my entire collection. So if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification below to know when I upload new stuff, and if you want to support the channel, of course, check out my other content here, leave likes and comments, and check out my main gaming channel, Dovault's Gaming, down below. It would mean a lot if you would check that out. And I also do have, on that main channel, links to W Energy if you want to get some energy drinks and support the channel that way. And I also have a Ko-Fi. I might be putting my Cash App and other things in my video descriptions in the future, because currently I cannot afford more of these figures. So I really rely on you guys to really help out. Your views have been great. This channel has been doing great, and I can't thank you guys enough. This has been a fun Metal Cardbot journey, but it's not over yet, so I will see you in the next review. This has been Dovault, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!